that there is some sort of a gag order on that accused, that he or she will not speak about the case against them. Like we saw in the case of Sanjay Singh, there is a kind of a gag order on Sanjay Singh when he was released on bail. The Supreme Court, this very bench of the Supreme Court, said he will not speak to anybody about the case, which is the Delhi liquor policy against him, and he is now today on bail. But as far as Arvind Kejriwal is concerned, we'll have to wait and see what the written order is. So far, nobody has a copy of the written order. Third thing, during the course, when the Supreme Court pronounced the order, senior advocate Abhishek Manu Singhvi sought an extension saying that maybe Arvind should be released on bail till June 5th, because June 4th is the date of counting counting of votes in this country. So probably they wanted some sort of a relief to come his way till 5th of June, but the court has declined that flatly and said that he'll be out till 1st and he'll have to surrender on the 2nd. So this is where the matters are today. Another question I just want to respond to that which you had pointed out was with respect to, will it have any bearing on the case, on the existing case? It will have no bearing. This interim bail,
that's a different matter altogether.
Altogether, the granting of bail is totally at the discretion of the court.
Absolutely. Okay, we have a very important voice joining us on the phone line at this point. Sushil Gupta, Rajya Sabha member of Parliament belonging to the Aam Aadmi Party. Gupta ji, ये बहुत बड़ी जीत मानी जा रही है आम आदमी पार्टी के लिए, अरविंद केजरीवाल के लिए। इन्फोर्समेंट डायरेक्टरेट ने तो पूरी कोशिश की थी कि केजरीवाल को बेल ना दी जाए, एक गलत संकेत जाएगा उन्होंने कहा, लेकिन कोर्ट ने अब फैसला किया है कि ना सिर्फ दिल्ली इलेक्शन के लिए बल्कि 1 जून तक अरविंद केजरीवाल जेल से बाहर रह सकते हैं और कैंपेन कर सकते हैं। कितना बड़ा है ये ऑर्डर आपकी पार्टी के लिए? सुशील गुप्ता जी, क्या आप मुझे सुन पा रहे हैं? Okay, I am not sure if Mr. Gupta can hear me. We'll try and reconnect with him in just a moment. But let me get a word in now from Dr. Rajiv Nanda, Senior Supreme Court Advocate, who's with us. We'll also go across to Senior Journalist Rennie Abraham in just a moment. Dr. Rajiv Nanda, you and I were discussing earlier in the day how this may be unprecedented at many levels, but the Supreme Court can, in its wisdom, decide that it is important for a popularly elected Chief Minister of a state to be allowed to campaign for his political party during an important Lok Sabha election. And that is the exact view that the court seems to have taken. Even though the reasoning, will, I'm sure, come out later. We don't have the details of the exact reasoning that the court has mentioned in its ruling. But it is very clear that Arvind Kejriwal has an opportunity now to campaign not only in Delhi, but even beyond, because he is on bail till the 1st of June. How important is this verdict in your view?
See, Neha, as far as the legal aspect is concerned, Supreme Court has not granted him bail on any merits of the matter. Supreme Court, as we were discussing earlier also, has perhaps kept in mind only one thing, that the people of Delhi or people of India, for that matter, should not be deprived of a political party whose head is in jail, because Arvind Kejriwal is wearing two hats. He is the president or the convener of the Aam Aadmi Party, as well as the chief minister of Delhi, who's facing this excise the liquor gate scam. So now, as far as merits are concerned, I don't think so that Supreme Court can and Supreme Court has said anything on merits while granting the bail. It is only and only the sole criteria is that the democracy of this country should also get a chance, which perhaps they thought that maybe the democracy is not getting a chance. People are being deprived of a leader addressing them and not campaigning in the poll. But I mean, all that, I was also hearing these comments of somebody who was saying here that you case mein jeet gaya hai, galat case hai, wo kharab ho gaya, and all that. This is all crap. I mean, what is the campaigning? What is this narration going on this media?
किसी भी अपनी पार्टी या इंडिया अलायंस के किसी भी हिस्से में जाकर प्रचार करने की उनको छूट दे दी गई है। थैंक यू सर।
Right, that was another legal reaction from the Supreme Court. The lawyer there saying Arvind Kejriwal is at complete liberty to campaign for his party. up till the 1st of June. Now, the question is, when exactly is he going to step out of jail? Will that happen today or will it happen tomorrow? Only a formality left. Once the paperwork is done, he will be a free man till the 1st of June. All right, Dr. Rajiv Nanda, if I could come to you now, perhaps incorrect to say he'll be a free man because this is only interim bail. But fact of the matter is, this is a very, very significant order. Of course, you're right that this has nothing to do with the merits of the case. That matter is still sub judice. The court hasn't even commented on it. This matter was limited to whether Arvind Kejriwal should be allowed to come out and campaign for his party. And now that permission has been granted, and it is very clear, as I said earlier, that the Supreme Court thinks that it is important for a democratically elected Chief Minister to be allowed to campaign for his party in a crucial Lok Sabha election that happens once in 5 years.
Yes, of course, this is kind of precedent now. They will have to collect it. Yes, Supreme Court is to election that there were corrupt practices in her election. So it is once again reiterated, the court, the judiciary is supreme in this country, and the hopes of people living in democracy have really revived, that there is somebody who, in case of need, can come to their help. I'm not saying that whether Kejriwal's bail is good or bad, but I'm simply saying that Supreme Court has said that judiciary is supreme. Supreme Court is supreme.
All right, sir, I'll come back to you in just a moment. Thanks for your opening remarks. Now we have Vikramjit Pasi, Aam Aadmi Party spokesperson, joining us on the phone line at this point. Vikramjit Pasi, big political win for the Aam Aadmi Party and Arvind Kejriwal. The Chief Minister is now free to campaign till the 1st of June.
This is an very nice order given by the Supreme Court, as Supreme Court has decided that Mr. Kejriwal can campaign for the party and up to 1st June. And we are waiting for the detailed order of the Supreme Court. And as soon as it will come out, we will discuss more. But we want to say that the actual motive of the BJP was to restrain Mr. Kejriwal from campaigning in the Lok Sabha elections. And although many days have been wasted by this illegal arrest, by this false arrest, by the false implication of Mr. Kejriwal in this case, but even though we can say that there are so many days by which we can tell to the people, we can say to the people that actual motive of the BJP has been forfeited, has been failed by the verdict of the Supreme Court. But I want to discuss more after reading the, you can say, whole order of the Supreme Court.
We understand that, Mr. Pasi, but certainly this comes as not just a huge relief but a massive political victory for your party. Since Mr. Kejriwal is going to be out on bail till the 1st of June and not just till the time that Delhi votes on the 25th of May, would it be correct to assume that he will also campaign outside of Delhi?
Yeah, bilkul. Definitely, we are waiting for the detailed order, and we are hopeful that Mr. Kejriwal will be allowed to campaign in whole India, outside Delhi also. But let's see what is the detailed order of the Supreme Court.
Okay. And sir, do you believe that, given that the Aam Aadmi Party has been saying there's a lot of support and sympathy for Arvind Kejriwal since his arrest, do you believe that he has, in a sense, emerged as a taller national leader, as one of the more prominent faces of the India alliance now?
Since the day Mr. Kejriwal has left his job and decided to serve the nation, he is a national hero, I want to say. From the very first day when he left his job, he started fighting for the people, for the justice. And now, when he was in jail, even then, every worker of Aam Aadmi Party was considering himself as Kejriwal. And now, every worker of Aam Aadmi Party, under the guidance of Mr. Kejriwal, will fight for the justice, will fight for the democracy, will fight for the constitution.
You are saying we will fight for justice, democracy in the constitution. Now that Mr. Kejriwal is coming out of jail, what will your primary message to the people of India be? Because I want to remind you, Mr. Pasi, that the court has not commented on the merits of the case. The Delhi liquor case is still pending. This matter was simply limited to whether Mr. Kejriwal should be allowed to campaign or not. So it is a victory, but a limited victory. It's not as if he's been acquitted of corruption charges.
I am not commenting it is a victory, limited victory, full victory, because I have not read the whole order of the Supreme Court. But I want to say that this Delhi liquor scam is nothing but as water balloon only. But it is a water balloon only, and it has been created to implicate Aam Aadmi Party leaders in false case. Till date, not even a single rupee has been recovered. One thing is very much clear. Second thing is, whole India knows that if the center government of BJP is fading from a person, then that person is Mr. Kejriwal.
All right. Certainly a day when the party can celebrate. Bikramjit Pasi, thanks very much for joining us. You were saying it's a water balloon. There is nothing to this case. But remember, the ED has claimed it is ready to file a charge sheet before the 15th of May. Alok Sharma, Congress spokesperson, also joining us on the phone line at this point. Alok Sharma, your party is in an alliance with the Aam Aadmi Party here in Delhi. Arvind Kejriwal will now get to campaign before the crucial Delhi elections. How big a boost is this going to be for the India alliance in your view?
Neha, this is a decision given by this Honorable Supreme Court. Congress party always accept whatever the Supreme Court verdict has come and let the full verdict come, and whatever the terms and conditions are imposed till 30th. Full version from the Congress party will come after that, but whatever the decision is taken by the Supreme Court, we respect that.
You respect the decision, but do you believe, sir, this will be a boost for the India alliance?
I think that will be more decided by the public, the voters. They will think over it, and definitely for Aam Aadmi Party and the alliance, it will be good.
It will be good for the alliance, okay. Mr. Sharma doesn't sound as excited as the Aam Aadmi Party spokesperson did a short while ago. But on a more serious note, Mr. Sharma, before we let you go, even as we all wait for the details of this ruling to emerge, one thing is clear, Mr. Kejriwal is now going to be able to campaign till the 1st of June. Would the Congress party and other members of the India alliance want him to campaign in other states as well, outside of Delhi?
Let he comes out, and the India alliance will decide over it. India alliance is not completely whatever the decision is taken by the Congress party. The whole India alliance will decide. I think only Congress party can't comment on that.
All right. Thank you very much, Alok Sharma, for speaking to us. Before I go across to Rennie Abraham, quick word from you, Brijesh. Oh, all right. We have Priyanka Chaturvedi of the Shiv Sena joining us at this point in time. Priyanka, do you believe the Supreme Court's ruling, which now allows Arvind Kejriwal to campaign till the 1st of June, is a major political victory and a shot in the arm, not just for the Aam Aadmi Party, but for the India alliance, which has been accusing the centre of systematically targeting and persecuting the opposition?
Absolutely. This is not just a fight for justice, but it is also a political fight which Bharatiya Janata Party initiated, and Supreme Court has managed to quash and have given him an interim bail. This would help not just Aam Aadmi Party, as you said, also the India alliance. It will strengthen us, and it will continue to show how Bharatiya Janata Party uses these agencies to silence the opposition. But again, Arvind Kejriwalji's struggle is witness to the fact that whatever tools that they may apply, we are not going to be silenced. We are going to be fighting this out, and we are going to ensure that the Bharatiya Janata Party does not get to its 400 target goal, and we will come to power.
All right. Priyanka, I also want to ask you this. The Aam Aadmi Party has been saying there's a lot of sympathy factor for Arvind Kejriwal ever since he was sent to jail. Do you believe that, this is going to be now the central message that the India Alliance is going to take to the voters, the people of India, and you believe it will work in your favor? The fact, the narrative that this is a political witch hunt against the opposition. How much of a boost do you think it will be? And do you believe that Arvind Kejriwal should and will campaign even outside of Delhi?
I'm certain he will campaign outside of Delhi also, because he has some candidates one candidate in Haryana and he has some candidates in Gujarat under the India Alliance. And he will probably go to whichever cities and states that need him. Now, having said that, as far as creating a narrative is concerned, now there is no need to create a narrative. People are witness to the fact how Bharatiya Janata Party is arm twisting independent agencies to go after their opposition. Just 2 days ago, the Prime Minister of India accused Mr. Rahul Gandhi of taking truckloads of black money from two big industrialists. Why does the ED, IT, CBI not get activated then? It just goes to show that they're losing the plot. They do not know how to hide their bunch of lies, and the truth is prevailing. And like everyone says, Satyamev Jayate, it may take a longer fight to fight, but the truth will always triumph. And this is what is happening.
Final question, Priyanka, before we let you go. A lot of people have been saying that Arvind Kejriwal now emerges as a national leader of a much higher stature. Do you believe that he is now one of the most prominent and, may I say, important leaders of the India Alliance today, not just the Aam Aadmi Party?
No, again, he's part of the India Alliance. India Alliance repeatedly has been saying we are blessed to have so many national leaders to be able to take the lead. Aam Aadmi Party is a national party by the virtue of Election Commission deeming it a national party. So, by the virtue of it having, formed the state government in Punjab as well as in Delhi, he will continue to battle it out. Like I said, every important alliance has been victimized, has been targeted, and today, truth stands supreme.
All right, Priyanka Chaturvedi, thank you so much for speaking to News9. A big political victory today, not just for the Aam Aadmi Party, but also for the India Alliance. Mamata Banerjee, the West Bengal Chief Minister and Trinamool Chief, has also tweeted. She says, I'm very happy to see that Shri Arvind Kejriwal has got interim bail. It will be very helpful in the context of the current elections. I believe Pawan Khera, leader of the Congress, also spoke to the media a short while ago. We'll try and play out his reaction in just a moment. But before that, let me go across to my colleague Brijesh Pandey, who's here with me in the studio. Brijesh, you heard a very excited Priyanka Chaturvedi there saying, yes, it's a very big boost for the India Alliance. You heard a very excited Aam Aadmi Party spokesperson there saying it is a massive victory for us. They're already using the slogan Satyamev Jayate. However, the Congress spokesperson did not sound as excited when I asked him for his reaction.
Well, I mean, it is perfectly understandable. Even when you probe Priyanka about the kind of national role Arvind Kejriwal will take, she was also, she tried to balance her statement. But the fact of the matter is, because, nobody would want in this particular alliance some other party a bigger eminence or prominence than they deserve. But the fact of the matter is that, Arvind Kejriwal and the fact that, three of his ministers were arrested before, only Sanjay Singh managed to get bail. Manish Sisodia and other is still behind bars. Arvind Kejriwal unwittingly had become a symbol of oppression as far as the ED is concerned. And that is the reason why, the BJP, the Enforcement Directorate fought tooth and nail against this particular interim bail which has been given to Arvind Kejriwal, because they understand the importance of the fact and the role Arvind Kejriwal's now, once he has been incarcerated, had he not gone behind bars, nothing would have changed, not much would have changed on the ground. Now he comes across as a, it's a more of a David versus Goliath kind of fight, and it will definitely help Aam Aadmi Party in not only in in Delhi especially, because in Punjab it's a major fight between Aam Aadmi Party and Congress, but it will definitely help Arvind Kejriwal here in Delhi, and they will also, I think, majority of them, Mamata Banerjee, Akhilesh Yadav, with whom, Arvind Kejriwal shares a far greater rapport, they would be utilizing Arvind Kejriwal to campaign or do joint rallies and campaigns as far as Uttar Pradesh and West Bengal is concerned, because they know that, whichever party is at the receiving end of Enforcement Directorate, they would want Arvind Kejriwal to prop up and say that, he's also a symbol of somebody who has been victimized and now he has been set free. Nobody will go into the details as to, his getting interim bail has no reflection whatsoever on the original case per
It's
se.
not an acquittal
Not at all an acquittal.
of the corruption
But,
charges.
you know, this is how political
politics
parties
is
campaign.
about symbolism
Absolutely.
at
So
the end of the day.
they will campaign as if, you know, Arvind Kejriwal has been exonerated. By
Correct. Absolutely. And, you know, the Aam Aadmi Party spokesperson, Bikramjit Pasi, who we spoke to just a short while ago, did say, of course, Arvind Kejriwal will campaign outside of Delhi as well. Why will he not? And remember, the use or misuse of central agencies by the centre, as alleged by the opposition, has emerged as the biggest rallying point for the opposition. And therefore, this does become a very, very big boost for the India alliance. Let's now listen in to what Congress leader Pawan Khera said to the media a short while ago as soon as this verdict came from the Supreme Court.
We welcome the intervention by Chief Minister of Jharkhand, Mr. Hemant Soren, also gets due justice.
झूठा पुलिंदा बनाकर भारतीय जनता पार्टी के दबाव में इस तरीके का एक केस खड़ा करके, जिस केस का कोई आधार नहीं है, अब तक कोई सबूत नहीं है, कोई कड़ी नहीं जोड़ पाए हैं। माननीय सर्वोच्च न्यायालय ने पिछले 2 हियरिंग से पहले 5 सवाल पूछे थे इंटरिम बेल को लेके, उस पे एक पर भी वो सर्टिफिकेटरी रिप्लाई नहीं दे पाई। इसी वजह से आज माननीय सर्वोच्च न्यायालय ने अरविंद केजरीवाल जी को इंटरिम बेल देते हुए 1 जून तक वो प्रचार में रहेंगे और 2 जून को उनको दोबारा सरेंडर करना है।
जो जून को उनको सरेंडर करना है, 1 till 1 जून, एंड ही विल बी रिक्वायर्ड टू सरेंडर ऑन 2 जून।
सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने फैसला देने में आज क्या कहा है?
सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने उनको इंटरिम जमानत दी है और जमानत देते हुए कहा है कि वो सारा कुछ जो भी प्रचार वगैरह है वो सब कुछ कर सकते हैं और उनको जो है 2 जून को जो है सरेंडर करना पड़ेगा।
तो आप ये फैसले को आप किस तरह से देखते हैं सर?
ये एक बहुत बड़ी जीत है। ये ईडी का जो केस है वो बिल्कुल धराशायी हो गया। कोर्ट ने जो है इंटरिम जमानत ग्रांट की है और ये इस बात का साबित होता है कि किस तरीके से इस एक झूठे मुकदमे में अरविंद केजरीवाल जी को अंदर रखा गया था।
All right, lots and lots of reactions coming in to that big verdict that's been delivered by the Supreme Court of India. Delhi Chief Minister and Aam Aadmi Party Chief Arvind Kejriwal will be released from Tihar jail today or tomorrow and will have the liberty to campaign for his party and the India Alliance until the 1st of June. The court has said that he will need to surrender on the 2nd of June. A massive political victory for not just the Aam Aadmi Party here in Delhi, but also for the India Alliance, of which the Aam Aadmi Party is a significant member. Rennie Abraham, let me come to you now. You've been listening into a lot of reactions that have been coming in. There are different voices. Now, whatever legal argument one may make, at the end of the day, this is a massive political victory for the Aam Aadmi Party and the India Alliance, because, you know, disregarding the view or the argument made by the Enforcement Directorate that this sets a wrong precedent, will have a domino effect, the Supreme Court has taken the view that the Delhi Chief Minister should be given the liberty to campaign for his party in the crucial Lok Sabha elections. How big a political win is this?
Undeniably, Neha, this interim bail order is certainly going to have a groundswell of positivity for the Aam Aadmi Party, which is in alliance in the India Alliance, and correct me if I'm wrong, contesting 4 out of the 7 seats of Delhi, with the Congress fighting the remaining 3. So it's undeniable, although as you have correctly mentioned, that it has got no bearing on the merits of the case. All the same, the general voter sentiment is always impacted when there is, just like his arrest so close to the elections was being cited as to create a sympathy wave for the AAP. The same way, his getting interim bail on the cusp of the May 25th elections in Delhi is also certainly going to enthuse and create a groundswell of more support for the Aam Aadmi Party consolidating. It would be interesting, though, to know whether Kejriwal would also make it a point to go and canvass in Telangana, where one of the co-accused, K. Kavita, is also, who hails from and who is also incarcerated currently. I mean, how they're going to politically exploit this interim bail and his enlargement into society till June 1st is going to be very crucial to watch. as also it will be very crucial to see how many more people are likely to now move the Supreme Court on similar grounds. Although just before Brijesh gave us the breaking news about the bail, as I had mentioned to you, the Supreme Court is most likely going to also put a corollary to its interim bail order, stating that it is not going to have, it is going to be a one-off thing and it may not have a similar impact on other cases.
Right. I mean, we still don't know the details of that ruling. Let's be very clear. We will have to wait for the details of the reasoning that's been mentioned by the Supreme Court to emerge. But my colleague Ashok mentioned that a short while ago, that every case is different and decided by the courts on merit. Even if a certain case is cited as a precedent or a parallel, it is obviously, not binding on the court to go by those precedents. Before I take this back to Ashok Bagaria and Brijesh Pandey, let's listen into some more political reactions that have come in. The BJP has reacted, as has the Shiv Sena, the Eknath Shinde cap. Let's listen in.
केजरीवाल जी शराब घोटाले में लिप्त हैं। आज महानयोग सुप्रीम कोर्ट के जजमेंट के बाद क्लियर हो गया। उनको 1 तारीख के लिए केवल चुनाव के लिए कोर्ट ने अलाउ किया है और 1 तारीख के बाद उनको दोबारा जेल जाना हो। भ्रष्टाचार में लिप्त अरविंद केजरीवाल जी, बेईमानी का, करप्शन का पैसा इकट्ठे करने वाले अरविंद केजरीवाल जी को 1 तारीख को दोबारा जेल जाना होगा। आज बड़ा स्पष्ट हो गया। अरविंद केजरीवाल और आम आदमी पार्टी कहती थी वो ईमानदार हैं, उन्होंने कोई करप्शन नहीं की, कोई बेईमानी नहीं की, तो फिर उनको 1 तारीख को जेल क्यों जाना होगा? आज दिल्ली और देश के लोग पूछ रहे हैं, अरविंद केजरीवाल जी, इतनी बड़ी करप्शन, इतने बड़े घोटाले कि कोर्ट भी आपको केवल 15 दिन के लिए छोड़ती है, जैसे हार्डकोर क्रिमिनल को छोड़ा जाता है, और वापस आपको 1 तारीख को जेल आना होगा। अगर आप ईमानदार थे, आपने करप्शन घोटाला नहीं किया, शराब के पैसे नहीं लिए, तो जेल क्यों जाना पड़ रहा है? आज दिल्ली के लोग आपसे सवाल पूछ रहे हैं।
केजरीवाल को जेल या बेल के बजाय सबसे पहले उससे मुख्यमंत्री पद से हटाना चाहिए। वो हजारों करोड़ रुपए के शराब घोटाले के एक अभियुक्त हैं और वो अभियुक्त अब तक जेल में था और आगे भी 1 जून के बाद उसको जेल में जाना पड़ेगा। तो जेल में जो अभियुक्त है वो सरकार कैसे चला सकता है? ये एक बड़ा प्रश्न है। सवाल संवैधानिक प्रावधानों का नहीं है, सवाल नैतिकता का है। केजरीवाल स्वयं कहा करते थे कि किसी भी नेता पर कोई आरोप लगे तो उसको तत्काल अपने पद से इस्तीफा दे देना चाहिए, लेकिन जब केजरीवाल पे शराब घोटाले का आरोप लगा तो वो इतना बेशर्म आदमी है कि उसने अभी तक अपना पद नहीं छोड़ा है। तो ऐसे पद लोलुप केजरीवाल के बारे में मेरा यह कहना है कि उसकी पार्टी के लोग, देश के लोग, दिल्ली के लोग सबसे पहले उससे ये कहें कि वो मुख्यमंत्री का पद छोड़े और शांति से जो आरोप लगे हैं उन आरोपों के बारे में कानूनी कार्रवाई तक इंतजार करे, उसके बाद आगे जाके कोई भूमिका बनाए।
Okay, so predictable political reactions. Aam Aadmi Party and members of the India Alliance are rejoicing over the Supreme Court verdict granting interim bail to Arvind Kejriwal till the 1st of June, and the BJP and other members of the NDA Alliance clearly not so happy, continuing to talk about the corruption charges that the Chief Minister of Delhi still faces. Let me go back to my colleagues Ashok Bagaria and Brijesh Pandey at this point. Ashok, you follow the courts very closely. Now, the challenge here was that this case is almost without precedent. As I have been saying ad nauseum, this is the first time that a sitting Chief Minister is sent behind bars. This is also, at least according to the Enforcement Directorate, the first time that somebody said, please grant us bail so we can go and campaign in an election. The Enforcement Directorate said it has set a very dangerous precedent, but clearly the Supreme Court of India disagreed.
Okay, yeah. So, in fact, last evening, the Enforcement Directorate tried to persuade the Supreme Court by putting in an affidavit at the last moment, where they made out this case, saying that, look, there has been no order in the last 70 years which has been passed by any courts in the country which permit release of an accused on an interim bail for campaigning purposes, number one. Number two, they also tried to impress on the court that if you do this, if you pass this order granting interim bail to an accused for campaigning purposes, it will open up floodgates of similar petitions being filed in various courts across the country. Number 3, they tried to persuade the Supreme Court by saying that if such thing is done, it will incentivize criminals becoming politicians. Although it's a little far-fetched argument which was peddled by the Enforcement Directorate. Now, coming to the first point, that just because there has been no order in the past granting interim bail to any accused for campaigning purposes is no reason that the courts cannot take a contrary view. And this is exactly what the Supreme Court has done today, number 1. Number 2, there are questions which are being raised, just like the ED raised, that this will open up the floodgates. All politicians who have been arrested will come rushing to the courts and seek release on interim bail. But kindly understand 2 things. As far as bail is concerned, bail orders are given at the discretion of the court after the court is satisfied that the triple test is satisfied. Now, what is the triple test? The triple test is to see whether the accused is a flight risk. In this case, Arvind Kejriwal is a sitting Chief Minister of Delhi. He is not going anywhere. Number 2, is there a possibility of the accused tampering with the evidence? Again, the Supreme Court in its wisdom believes that probably no. Number 3, is the accused while on bail, is he likely to influence the witnesses in this case? If this triple test which has been laid down by the Supreme Court, if the answer is a no, the courts generally grant bail, because in the larger jurisprudence, bail is the rule, jail is an exception.
Though this is a money laundering case that we're talking about, under the PMLA Act, we know it's the exact opposite. People have, Manish Sisodia, for instance, has spent more than a year in jail. But if I were to just flip the argument on its head and ask you the question that many others have been asking, does this mean that tomorrow there is a local municipality election and a politician who's in jail goes to any court in India and says, look, Arvind Kejriwal was granted bail to campaign, I should also be allowed to campaign, let's say in an MCT election in Delhi tomorrow. Will the court be bound to follow this precedent, as it were?
Okay, now that's a very interesting one. See, any case which is decided on the peculiar facts and circumstances of that case. Now, Arvind Kejriwal case becoming a precedent or not, we will have to wait and see. But definitely one thing is for sure, that this case will be cited by people every time they seek interim bail. It might not have a precedent value, but it will definitely have a persuasive value. Now, coming to your question, whether if a politician who is seeking permission from the bail, seeking permission for bail to campaign in an MCD local elections, what happens then? Then the court will have to see what is the stature of that particular politician. Is his participation absolutely necessary? Can it be dispensed with? Is this particular gentleman, if he is released on bail, is he a flight risk? Will he tamper with the evidence? Will he try to influence the witnesses? All these things will have to be taken care. It just can't be like that, okay, Arvind Kejriwal was released on May 10th, so now on May 11th, K. Kavita goes to the court and said, oh, he's been released now on similar grounds, I'm identically placed, same case, release me.
Or Hemant Soren for that matter.
Hemant Soren for that matter, because I took the example of K. Kavita because she's an accused in the same case and the investigations are also under the PMLA Act.
Yes.
Maybe the court in Kavita's case may come to a different conclusion.
Yes. Because every case is unique and has its own unique set of factors. Okay,
cases,
very quickly.
I'm just saying the broad contours of the case is same. Cases, position can be unique. I think the only thing which is coming out of this Supreme Court judgment is that Hemant Soren shouldn't have resigned and remain as the Chief Minister.
As a matter of fact, let me tell you.
It is the only factor which is weighing in. I mean, then, you know, how are you going to differentiate and say that a taluka election is less important than an election of the general election? There's no, are you trying to say that the lower court is less of a court than the apex court?
As a matter of fact, when I interviewed Sanjay Singh of the Aam Aadmi Party just a few weeks ago, I asked him, did Hemant Soren make a mistake by resigning? He said yes, he should never have stepped down as Chief Minister of Jharkhand.
So I think this is the other precedent which this case will set.
So whether, you know, courts in the future will think that they're bound by this precedent remains to be seen. But clearly this is a massive victory today for the Aam Aadmi Party. All right, on that note, I'd like to thank all my colleagues and our guests for joining me on this special broadcast. Let's listen into some of the other political reactions that have come in.
We welcome the intervention by the Honorable Supreme Court in granting the bail to Mr. Arvind Kejriwal. We also hope that the Prime Minister gets enough time after 4th of June, when he becomes the former Prime Minister of India, to introspect sitting in Sabarmati Ashram at the kind of politics he has indulged into. We hope that the former Chief Minister of Jharkhand, Mr. Hemant Soren, also gets due justice.
केजरीवाल को जेल या बेल के बजाय सबसे पहले उससे मुख्यमंत्री पद से हटाना चाहिए। वो हजारों करोड़ रुपए के शराब घोटाले के एक अभियुक्त हैं और वो अभियुक्त अब तक जेल में था और आगे भी 1 जून के बाद उसको जेल में जाना पड़ेगा। तो जेल में जो अभियुक्त है वो सरकार कैसे चला सकता है, ये एक बड़ा प्रश्न है।
केजरीवाल जी शराब घोटाले में लिप्त हैं। आज मानयोग सुप्रीम कोर्ट के जजमेंट के बाद क्लियर हो गया, उनको 1 तारीख के लिए केवल चुनाव के लिए कोर्ट ने अलाउ किया है और 1 तारीख के बाद उनको दोबारा जेल जाना होगा। अरविंद केजरीवाल जी को 1 जून के बाद दोबारा जेल जाना होगा। सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने स्पष्ट कर दिया, अरविंद केजरीवाल जी को केवल और केवल 15 दिन के लिए चुनाव के लिए बाहर रह सकेंगे। शराब घोटाले में लिप्त अरविंद केजरीवाल जी, भ्रष्टाचार में लिप्त अरविंद केजरीवाल जी, बेईमानी का, करप्शन का पैसा इकट्ठे करने वाले अरविंद केजरीवाल जी को 1 तारीख को दोबारा जेल जाना होगा। आज बड़ा
India's ever-evolving urban landscape is witnessing a new revolution. And this one comes on 4 wheels.
The affluence has been growing. Cars are becoming more a reflection of what you are.
Nobody's talking about hatchbacks. Now what next? The next is the SUV.
The contribution of SUVs is close to 55-60% of the automobile sales these days.
Is that even manufacturers like to sell SUVs?
So, how did a nation obsessed with fuel economy come to love heavy gas guzzling sports utility vehicles? Let's look at how India fell in love with the SUV.
This and more. Streaming on News9 plus news is now content. Subscribe and get free vouchers.
There's a new video around what deepfake can do.
We had seen a trailer of this a few days back.
Rollers should not be only on the platform.
We'll have to wait and see how those play out.
Hindenburg's report cannot be taken as gospel of truth.
Film and entertainment is definitely one of the levers for any country to build its brand.
We are getting global. I feel that we're just on the takeoff.
More and more films are becoming language agnostic.
Content is a universal language.
There's one audience in the world.
Absolutely. End of the day, we all are like brothers who have mutual respect for each other from a different land.
Watch Allu Arjun on Duologues with Barundas. Streaming on News9 Plus.
Talk about our vaccine worry. People are already talking about Covishield and how it was withdrawn. What about future cases of coronaviruses? Why was it withdrawn? What is thrombosis? Should you be worried about it? Well, all of that being covered next. Take a look. Years after the COVID pandemic, the horrors of the lockdown, they remain fresh in memories of us all. Take a look at some of these shots. Of course, it's a little challenging to swallow them. People found it challenging even today to put a figure to the losses they have incurred since 2020. The COVID-19 pandemic was dreadful for India. An explosion of COVID cases brought our healthcare system under the spotlight. People were running from pillar to post, trying every bit to muster oxygen cylinders for their loved ones. But amid a shortage of medicines, the remdesivir injection scam came to light to further push people into the abyss of misinformation. Many left the mortal remains of their loved ones at cemeteries, not allowed to even touch their relative, bidding farewell to them from within a heap of bodies from far away, all waiting their turn at the pyre. Deaths due to COVID-19 today stand at 5,33,589, and these are government-sourced numbers. Meanwhile, then came the vaccine, our knight in shining armor. As of today, according to the Health Ministry data, total vaccinations stand at 220 crores, 68 lakh 94,100